Hey everybody, JC here. Happy Sunday afternoon. It is a little bit after 3 p.m. here in Porter, Texas. Gonna go run a couple of quick errands and see how Tesla FSD version 13.2.8 does while we do them. Let's go. Push the little blue button. Start pulling out of my home driveway. Around my daughter's Nissan. There we go. Yeah, it has been an extremely rainy, overcast, gloomy weekend here in the greater Houston area. So apologies. I meant to try to do a little bit more FSD driving this weekend, especially after just getting version 13.2.8 2 or 3 days ago. I've done a couple of drives already and posted them up on YouTube and X, but meant to do a little bit more. Quite frankly, a couple of reasons why this is basically the first time I've been in the Tesla this week, because number one, yeah, it was just, what a gloomy rain. It's actually, this is the best it's been all weekend right here. No rain anymore. Still gloomy and overcast. But, so there was that. And then having spent the week, in Kansas, wanted to, there were some things that I needed to get done around the house anyway. So, yeah, apologies about that, but I do promise I plan to venture out this week and do some more version 13.2.8 FSD driving in other parts of Houston and Southeast Texas. Today, what I've got to do, I've actually got to run some errands. I need to, let's see, we're at a four-way stop. We're kind of playing chicken. All right, we're going to go ahead and go. I think they were technically there before us. I'll have to roll the tape, as they used to say, on that. But I think what may have happened there is they were probably at a stop before us. But what a lot of vehicles don't realize is that we don't move until we come to a 0 mile per hour stop. And so sometimes other vehicles that get there at the same time as you do at a four-way stop, it throws them off a bit, because they think you were there before they were, and they're just being nice. But in reality, we were not at a 0 mile per hour stop. So the clock doesn't start ticking for FSD at a four-way stop until we have come to a 0 mile per hour stop. That's at the point that we, quote unquote, got to the four-way stop. So that can create a little bit of confusion when vehicles get there at the exact same time or approximately the same time as you. So I think that's what happened there. So fortunately, the individual was cognizant of that and hesitated a bit, and then once there was that hesitation, we just went on through. But again, no big whoop. Fortunately, it's a four-way stop, so everybody's at a stop or a 1 mile per hour roll anyway. So, but yeah, what I'm doing today is I need to go to Leslie's Pool Supply Store and get some supplies for my backyard pool. It's gotten a little bit murky, not just with the weather, but being gone for a while, and then quite frankly, it's been the winter time and neglected it a bit. So need to get some supplies for the pool. So we are going to go to Leslie's, which is in the Kingwood Town Center area. I've actually, we've gone in the videos here, we've gone to that parking lot before. So for any of you that have watched most of my previous videos, this will not be a new parking lot. You will have seen this parking lot before. So we're going to do that. And then I need to go to my wife's family restaurant. But one of the things that I want to do on the way there is had a really good experience in the Humble Atascocita area at the intersection of FM 1960. And again, I forget the cross street there, but right across the street from El Jalapeño Mexican restaurant. And it's a fairly difficult intersection to get across and get into the parking lot of El Jalapeño. And man, 13.2.8 just did a fantastic job a couple of days ago. It was the very first time I was ever able to get across that intersection and not provide FSD with a little bit of non-critical intervention, you know, accelerator push, if you will. And so just kind of want to see, I want to recreate that as much as I possibly can and do that. It's on the way. It's a little bit out of the way, but as you go north-south, it's on the way. So we're going to go do that. And then, oh, geez, Louise. There was a pothole in the road there. And I apologize because I did not see that till we got right up on it. And obviously FSD did not see that till we got right up on it. It wasn't a terrible pothole, but it was a pothole nonetheless. And there were no, like, I don't know, usually there's like some markings that I don't know, I guess that we're in Kingwood. So the city of Houston, they usually put like some spray paint markings around it, or even sometimes they'll even put a cone over it so that you know to avoid it. But apologies there. Yeah, I didn't see it until we were right up on it, and FSD obviously did not see that as well. So still got a little ways to go with pothole detection. That was not a major one. Granted, it may have sounded like one, and it did, but it wasn't as bad as some of the ones I've seen inside the city of Houston, especially on the southwest and west side of town, in parts of Sugarland and A-Leaf. Man, they got some doozies out there, and ones you can't even avoid because they take up the entire expanse of the road. Yeah, so that one, and had FSD seen that pothole, had it done a better job of the pothole detection, I don't believe there were any cars immediately to our left. So had it seen it, it could have, gotten over to the left a bit, and not. Again, I may need to roll the tape on that just to verify what I'm saying here, but I don't believe there was a vehicle immediately to our left, so there would have been an opportunity to move over and not have to take one for the team, so to speak. All right, we are pulling into the parking lot. Let's see how we do in here. All right. Hesitated there a little bit. I don't know what for. All right, it is just going to stop right there. I'm going to give it one shot to try to park, and I promise, one shot and that's it. Let's just try this. Maybe try over there. Nope, don't want to do that. I don't want to do it that much. Let's try right over there. What is it? Huh? All right, backing up. I'm assuming to get a better... Oh, are we... What are we doing here? Well, it parked us, reversed in and parked us, but not a great parking job. As you can see, I mean, the lines are we are over the line, so I'm going to have to repark anyway. I'm not exactly sure why it hesitated right over there. That was kind of interesting. But it did pull into the parking lot, and then it just stopped in the parking lot. And just FYI, one of the things, I was listening to AI Driver, JD, who is one of the OGs. So if there's like a Mount Rushmore of the OG Tesla FSD beta, now supervised testers, you know, JD's on that Mount Rushmore for sure. He goes by AI Driver, but I was listening to one of his videos, and he even mentioned that at this point in the evolution of the Tesla FSD software, since they do not have parking functionality, and what I mean by parking functionality is the ability to select your parking spot, right? To preset it to whether you want it to park in a certain spot or pull up in the front or park in a driveway or park in a garage. You don't have that ability yet. It's not there. And so what he said is he's noticed he's had a lot better success at it finding a parking spot and doing a good parking job by just going ahead and setting a pin. So since it doesn't have the functionality, if there is an ability to drop a pin, like if it's on the map, that's what he's doing. And so since JD mentioned that, I'm going to go to that process as well. As until we have parking functionality, which we do not, it's starting to emerge, but it's not like a built-in part of the FSD stack yet. Until we do, I'm going to drop manual pins as much as I can. So I did drop a manual pin, and it actually went directly to my manual pin. But what it didn't try to do is park this time. So then I set another manual pin, and I got a rule of one now, and it did park me, and it reverse parked me, but it didn't do a great job. So I'm going to have to straighten up this parking job. So anyway, I'm going to run into Leslie's and get a handful of supplies, and then we'll be back in the Tesla and head on to our next destination. All right, everybody. See y'all in a little bit. Bye. Hey, everybody. JC back in the Tesla. Let's get back on the road. All right. Pulling out of the parking lot. Got everything I needed at Leslie's Pool Supply. Got some DE powder because I need to backwash my pool quite a bit. A couple of bags of that. All right. Gonna take a right here. We do have some oncoming vehicles. Let's see. We still got oncoming vehicles. So I have to wait a little bit. That's okay. Yep. Got here just the wrong time. Literally right when like somebody opened the barn door. Well, somebody just pulled in behind them. So now we've got more. Let's see. I was going to say right there we have one little gap. Great job. Great job. So yeah, unfortunately there was no opportunity to pull out there in most of that, but then there was about 100-foot gap between the vehicle we're behind and the one we're in front of now. And I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be confident to take that gap, but it was. So that's great. So as a human driver goes, I will tell you, that was the exact right time. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some humans that would have tried to pull out a little bit sooner than us, but that would have been very ill-advised to do it. So I would say we pulled out at the exact right moment in time. All right, we're on Westlake Houston Parkway now, going about 47 and a 45. We are headed to El Jalapeño Mexican restaurant on FM 1960. Again, we're not actually going to the restaurant. Since I'm now done with the first errand of the day out of two, the other one is to go to the restaurant, to the family restaurant. But I do want to retest the intersection of FM 1960 and the restaurant / shopping center, El Jalapeño restaurant shopping center area, to see how well it does this time. And I'm going to monitor. I've got it on the full FSD visual right now, but I do want to give you a heads up that as we get closer to the restaurant, I want to monitor the navigation just to make sure that it's taking us exactly to where I want it to take us. And why I need to do that is, as you can imagine, when you use Tesla navigation, which you have to with FSD, you want to, but even when you're testing it, putting it through some gauntlet, if you will, you got to use the navigation. Well, the navigation is going to bend towards having you take the most efficient route, the one that's combines both the least amount of complexity but with the best efficiency. And if something looks too doggone difficult, and quite honestly, it can find another route that may be more distance but take less time, it's going to do that. And it should. It should always do that under normal situations. But I'm about to put it through an abnormal situation where I actually want to test this particular difficult intersection. So, looks like it's continuing to stay on that navigation. So it should be taking a right here. And there we go, put on our right blinker at Upper Lake Drive. Now on this one, I did not set a manual pin. I went ahead and had it navigate to El Jalapeño Mexican restaurant. And the reason why is every time I tried to set a manual pin in their parking lot, the navigation had me coming from the exact opposite direction. So it's like, well, let's take this right turn. All right, got some standing water there. We did stay nicely in the right lane there. Some standing water to the right left over from all of the rain we got yesterday and earlier today. So like I said, right now, in the last hour or two, is the first time that it has not rained since Friday night. So, it's been one of those weekends. All right, come to a three-way stop. No other vehicles at the other stop, so we head on through. But going back to trying to set a manual pin into the parking lot of El Jalapeño Mexican restaurant, is that when I did that, for some reason the navigation had me going to the parking lot from the exact opposite direction. Whereas if I just navigate to El Jalapeño, all right, well, somebody All right, finally. So that's interesting. Another time where we get to a four-way stop, and again, I'll have to roll the tape again, but what something tells me is that they got there first, that they were there before we got to a 0 mile per hour stop at that four-way stop. And they were willing to let us go first. They even, I think it was kind of faint, but I think they did like the double tap of the lights, but I think we didn't take it initially because it wasn't just us and the car to our immediate right, but there was a car at the other part, one of the other parts. So we had 3 vehicles at the four-way stop. And so it was just being extra cautious there. And I'm fine with that, especially with the fact that we were not the first one there. And there was another vehicle at that four-way stop other than just the 2 of us. So we gave it an extra second or 2. But then once that other vehicle moved on through and it was clear that they were going straight and not turning in front of us, then we took that courtesy. So I think it did everything exactly the way it should have gone there. Although it looked a little bit awkward, I think that the system did exactly what it should have done. All right, let me check the navigation again. I think we're still good. I'm just going to continue to monitor the navigation here. Yep, so far so good. All right, we're coming up to another four-way stop at Forest Timbers and Timber Forest. Can never get that confused. Got about another 100 feet and we should turn right. Should be putting on our right blinker here pretty soon. There we go. All right, I think we're going to be good to go here, as long as we make this right. And we do. There we go. All right, now we're good to go. Now we've got the full Monty of this intersection at FM 1960 and the El Jalapeño Mexican restaurant. And I will be able to say exactly what the intersection is, because we're going to have let's see, it is Moon Trail Drive. So FM 1960 and Moon Trail Drive. Here we go. Right? And the reason, there's a handful of reasons for why this intersection is as difficult as it is. There's no dedicated median in the middle. It's FM 1960, which is busy. And you can see a lot of road construction with all the cones. So we move on up to the stop sign. We've got oncoming vehicles on the westbound side of 1960, and we creep up to see about the eastbound side, but there are vehicles coming on the eastbound side, so we got to wait. Now we've got more vehicles on the westbound side, and we do have vehicles behind us as well. So we got the full Monty here. All right, there's a gap. What are we going to do? We're going to get in the middle. All right. I'm going to have to monitor this a bit. We're in the middle. Take that gap. And we get over. Awesome. That was even better than last time. Well, they weren't honking at me. They were honking at the car behind me. Just so y'all know, that car must have slowed way down. All right, let's see. Is it going to try to park us? Come on, park us. And it's going to try to park us this time. Not great. We are on the line. But it did try to park. That was fantastic. That time, was even better than the last time, because what I'll tell you happened this time that didn't happen last time is it used that middle turning lane. There's a word that they call it that I'm not going to say for purposes of YouTube. And I'm not sure about X. I'm probably sure it's probably all social media. Definitely YouTube. We're not going to use that term. We will call it I think JD called it the chicken lane. Let's just call it a pseudo turning lane or a scary lane. Be what it will, but we're not going to use probably the most apt phrased colloquial term for it. Anywho, 2 days ago when we did that intersection, it got across without me having to intervene. So it got across the westbound traffic, and then, but it waited until there was just the right exact gap to where it could go all the way across. So it did not need to use that middle chicken lane, turning lane. This go around, it went ahead and went. So there was a gap, and I'm telling you what, the gap on the west, and when I say westbound, that's the traffic going this way now. So that was most immediate to us. So there was a small gap on the westbound side of 1960. It took that gap. I could not even see the traffic on the eastbound side because it was blocked by the construction. So when we got up, what I thought it was going to do was kind of get up and take a look and just stay there. But it went ahead and got into the middle lane, the turning lane, the chicken lane, the scary lane, and it waited for an opportunity for a gap in the leftmost lane of the eastbound traffic, got in there, let more go through, got over, got in. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that right there. And this is Sunday afternoon traffic. So 1960, as you can see, gets busy on a Sunday afternoon because there's so much. I mean, 1960 is the main thoroughfare on the north side of Houston, all the way from the northeast side to the northwest side. It's all on 1960. So it gets busy. And this section happens to have quite a lot of road construction, as you can see. That was the best that it has done, bar none. That might be, not might be, I said on Friday that what it did at that intersection was the most impressive I've seen of FSD handling city traffic for what we have of city traffic. I get it. This isn't San Francisco. This isn't, some section of LA. This is not Manhattan. But for Houston, Texas, that is about the most difficulty you could have in city traffic because it's just giving it to you all. It's giving you a very busy thoroughfare of FM 1960. Throw on a whole bunch of road construction where you can't even see the other side of traffic unless you creep up there. Throw in that it's got that middle scary lane. We all know what we really call it, but we're not going to call it that. It's got that. Throw in that you not only get up, but you got to get immediately over because this restaurant is literally 25 feet from where we came from. So you got about 25 to 50, I shouldn't say 25, but 25 yards. I'm sorry. You got about 25, or for my international listeners, 25 meters. So look at that. Well, I'll just say you got about 20 to 25 meters to work with to get all the way over and to the right. Just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And just so you know, yes, there was some honking behind me as we pulled into the parking lot, but now I'm really happy that I run the driver facing one, because you will see there was a vehicle behind me pulling in slow. It was them that they were honking at, not us. So we did excelente, bueno, muy impresando. I think is that correct? Tell me in the comments if I got that last one correct. All right. There's only one more stress test I want to try out again, and that was over there at the Lowe's. So let's go ahead and navigate before we do that one. Let's check out their parking lot here, Lowe's. Let's get to their Now, the only thing, as you can see, or you may not be able to see on the video, the only thing it did not do well is it did park, and I did not set a manual pin for the parking lot. I went ahead and used the preset navigation for El Jalapeño Mexican Cafe. And so it did the parking lot on its own then, instead of just dropping us off in front. But it did not do the best parking job in the world. That being said, like I said, it's not part of the functionality yet. It's just not. So the fact that it's that's everything it's doing right there, that is an emergent behavior of the neural network. All right. If we're going to get out there, go. Let's go. Awesome. Great job. Well, we had a bit more of a gap than I thought. It's just tough to see around these construction cones to make absolutely sure that the gap that you think you see is the gap that is actually there. But fortunately, our AI robot here on wheels has 8 eyeballs with 360 degrees field of view versus my 2 eyeballs with about anywhere from 130 to 200 maybe. And on that right there, probably more like the 130 version. So it's going to do a lot better job than me on that. All right. We are going to need to start making it up. Well, we still got about 3/4 of a mile, so not immediately. So we're back on FM 1960 now. We're going eastbound on 1960. We are headed to the Lowe's. I want to do one more redo of a stress test that we did on Friday at the Lowe's. And it may not work, but I just want to, while we're out here stress testing, I got to go this direction now, since I redid that one, which worked out great. It did even better than Friday. Man, I'm telling you, it's funny. The first night I drove 13.2.8, I remember telling folks, I didn't see that big of a difference. It's still good. No regressions, but no. And man, you just got to get two or three drives under your belt before you can really say that, because it is clearly better. It is. There's not something I can tell you like, hey, it could never do this on 13.2.7, but now it's doing it all the time on 13.2.8. I'm just telling you, it's definitely got more confidence. And I will tell you that I've only been able to do that intersection at 1960, and what was it called again? Moon Hill Road? Moon Valley Lane? Oh God, I'm so sorry. My 55-year-old brain just can't. It obviously wasn't that important to me at the time. I was totally focused on the intersection. But anyway, I've only been able to do that intersection 2 times with 0 interventions of any kind. Obviously no critical, but non-critical. And the only 2 times I've been able to do it are this Friday and today on 13.2.8. So if I were to say, like, what's the big difference? That's a big one. All right, here we go. We got left turning light. we make our way into the Atascocita Shopping Center parking lot, and we'll get up to the four-way stop here, and I believe we'll take a right turn. Yes, we will, so that we can go towards Lowe's and we'll go ahead and hopefully it'll park us at the Lowe's. We'll just see. And then from there, I'm going to play around with the navigation a little bit. Try to do a better job than I did on Friday, because on Friday, the navigation that I played with, I know the pins I was setting was just beyond that gate. And so for all intents and purposes, it was just basically like, we're here, we're done. So we're not gonna, so now I need to try to set a pin where it's worth the effort for FSD to try and back its way out of the predicament that I'm about to put it into. Because I'm going to put it into a predicament. But I need to set a manual pin that is worthy enough of FSD deciding that it should go ahead and reverse out, that it's worth its time to do it. Yep, the gate is locked, so that's good. How terrible is that? Oh, good, the gate's locked. Awesome. Like, only FSD beta tests are now supervisor that would think like this. All right, let's see if we're going to park. Yes, we are. How are we going to do on this one? This one is... It's better than the other two. It's better than the other two. Technically, I could get, like, we are right on the yellow line. So technically, I could get out of my car and go into Lowe's. It'd still be an a-hole move to do it like this, but it's just a little bit better. But I will tell you, it's tried to park me in all three places. That is an emergent behavior. Like I said, it is not a functionality of 13.2.8. I cannot select anywhere in there for it to park me. So anytime it tries to park you in a parking spot, just know that is not part of the existing functionality of the Tesla FSD software that we customers have. And I say we customers because obviously there are versions out there beyond what we have, but it's just all within Tesla right now. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me see here. All right. So here we are at Lowe's, and I want it to go this way. So let me see if I set a manual pin right there. Will it take us that way? Yes, it will. Now let me see if I keep going further out before it tries to just go that way, if you know what I mean. So let's see what this one does. Yeah, see why I'm doing this is the further I can take it out, that when it gets to that spot right there, it'll be worth its while to back out. Because before I just had it around there. All right, so we've got it there. Let's see if I can go a little bit further. Yep. All right. Let's go a little further. That should be pretty good. That should be pretty good right there. Let me, hold on a second. Let me edit through. Yep. Okay. And I'm going to get my foot ready. I'm going to look over there, see if they're, all right. We are ready. Backing out, even though technically it doesn't need to at this point, but that's the proper thing to do. All right, let's just make absolutely sure our navigation stays the same and it doesn't try to take a right. We're staying, at least the navigation is going this direction. Let's go. All right, are we going to continue? Go there we go. Come on, let's go left. All right, We should be good. All right, let me get my foot ready. Get it near the brake. Go. I don't want to scare these kids. All right, I got my foot over the brake. All right, it stopped. It reverses out. And let's see, is the navigation going to change for us? Come on, change the navigation. Going to change the navigation. Let's see what we do here. Because you can get back, let's see. When is it going to change that navigation? FSD is disregarding the navigation right now and going the other direction. There we go. And the navigation followed suit. And now we're going to stop for that young gentleman right there. Give him a wave. He gave us a wave. That was awesome. That was awesome. So that did, I put it in a predicament and it got itself out of the predicament. That was amazing. All right, let me end that and let's go to the boba shop. Oh, Lord. Well, guess you're not going to see my ugly mug for a little while. All right. Let's let that cool down a little bit. She got overheated. Let that cool down for a little bit. Sorry, folks. Make sure that, yeah, it's still going good. Well, I'm glad at least you got to see my face on camera before we went towards that gate. I'm no hero, but don't get it twisted. Like I've done that enough that it I knew it was gonna stop for the gate. No, don't get me wrong, I had my foot right near the brake. I knew, but the question is can it get itself out of a predicament? And it can. So what happened on Friday is a user error, is that I just had the pin too doggone close to the gate itself. And so that's why I spent some time there. And forgive me, I know, you know, some folks like to see how the sausage gets made. Other folks just want to see the FSD and don't care what I'm doing on my UI. But as you can see there, while we were in the Lowe's parking lot, all right, we got a gap. Let's go. All right, good job. What I was doing there was I wanted to take that manual pin out far enough behind the Lowe's to where it would still go left at the Lowe's and go to the gate and be put into the predicament I was trying to put it into. Get stuck, if you will. But be where the manual pin, oh, that was ill-advised, where the manual pin was far enough away from us that it was worth the while of FSD to re-navigate. Because I think what happened on Friday is the manual pin I was setting just wasn't far enough away for it to say it's worth it. It's like, dude, you're like on the first one, it's like we're literally 20 yards away from that pile of lumber you had me go to. I'm parked, get out. And then when I tried to do it again with another pin, it was further down, but I just had it set like still in that alley. And I think that the FSD was just saying, hey, we're at the alley, get out. So on this one, I wanted to set it a little further away. And man, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I think we can emphatically say that one of the reasons that it did not try to get itself out of the predicament on Friday that I put it into was a user error, a human supervisor user error in how I was doing the manual pin. And that's great news, because obviously nobody is going to navigate to the area that I had it going to. If you're navigating somewhere and you get stuck, usually the pin, the preset pin you're navigating to is far enough away from where you got stuck that FSD is going to try to get unstuck. All right. And let me just say apologies that my driver facing GoPro got overheated and went out. So looks like you're probably going to have a couple of, 4 or 5 minutes of not being able to see my beautiful mug for a while. I know I'm breaking hearts all over the country, all over the world, in fact. And I will make up for it, because it will be completely cooled down by the time I get back in the Tesla. I see both my wife and my mother-in-law are here. All right, coming in. Let's see what we do here in this parking lot. And we're going to try to, are we? Okay, we're going to try to park again. Keep pulling on through. Keep pulling on through. And it does. But again, it is over the line, so I'm going to have to manually. I was going to have to manually, well, I have to, but I was going to manually repark anyway, because I did not set a pin in the parking lot itself to be closer to the restaurant. So I was going to move anyway. But again, it has parked in the parking lot every single time. It just has not been a good parking job. But this is emergent. This is 13.2.8 has definitely upped the game on parking in parking lots. Is it doing a crackerjack job yet where it's a perfect parking job every single time? Absolutely not. But what I can say is it is pretty much at 90+%, doggone close to 100% of the time now on 13.2.8 that it is trying to park me in a parking lot. That is great. That is emergent behavior, even before we have the functionality. That means it's seeing clips of people parking, and it is trying to mimic those people. It's growing up, people. It's growing up right before our eyes. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get reparked and then go in and see my wife and my mother-in-law. And I'll be back in the Tesla with a cool down GoPro in just a little bit. All right, everybody. Bye. All right, everybody. Back in the Tesla, done at the family restaurant. Let's head on home. Push the little blue button, put on the rear camera. Somebody just pulled up beside us, so we're gonna be a little cautious. There we go, we're pulling out. All right. Take a left turn out of the parking lot. Put on our right blinker to get on Will Clayton Parkway. Good. Get out on Will Clayton Parkway. Got the green light. And here we go. All right. One thing I've done for this trip that is a little bit out of the norm is I went ahead and navigated it to take us home going 59 East Tex Freeway. So that is not the shorter route. The shorter route would have been for it to take me down Aerobic to Westlake Houston Parkway and then just go straight on home that way through Kingwood. But seeing that I haven't had a lot of highway time yet with version 13.2.8. I've been on the highway with it, but really only about 2 miles at most with it. Got a little bit of a feel for it, but just decided, let's go ahead, since we're heading home, it's a Sunday afternoon, let's just see how it does on the freeway. Go in this direction where Will Clayton, we're going to take Will Clayton all the way down to 59. It's about a little over 5.5 miles from here, so we'll be on Will Clayton for a little while. And then once we get on 59 East Tex Freeway going northbound, we should have a good 5 or 6 miles. So a little bit more of the freeway, get a little bit more feel of it on the freeway. All right, we're putting on our left blinker, getting around some slower moving traffic in the right lane. So yeah, it is done fantastic today. Just fantastic. All right, we got the green light here at Eagle Springs Parkway. Very nice neighborhood here. So this is, we are in the Eagle Springs subdivision, suburb, if you will, which is technically part of the Humble Atascocita area. Good Lord. Like I just visited Long Island or something. Trying to add an ER to everything. Boy, that would be something, right? Combine East Texas with Long Island. I don't know if the world's ready for that. But yeah, Eagle Springs, very nice neighborhood. Basically, that's what we just went through there, is the Eagle Springs subdivision. Very nice suburban area of the Humble Atascocita area of Northeast Houston. All right. Lights turn green here at Timber Forest Drive. We're going to pass by Humble High School, the alma mater of Landon, unsupervised. Good friend of ours in the Tesla X community. He lives in western Colorado now. Rural western Colorado. So almost as many mountains there as he had here in Humble, Texas. That was obviously a joke. I'm not sure how well it landed. All right, coming up to another traffic light. We got about 4.5 miles till 59 East Tex Freeway. June Forest Drive. So I think this is all Eagle Springs as well. I could be mistaken. No, this is just Humble. Right, I shouldn't say just Humble. This is Humble right here, because these are older neighborhoods. Eagle Springs is fairly new. And when I say new, I want to say Eagle Springs got started about 15, maybe 20 years ago. These subdivisions right here are obviously bit older than that, so I think this is your original Atascocita area. All right, we're putting on a right blinker, getting over into a faster moving lane, passing by Humble Middle School. So if you're in the 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, well, if you're in the 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, you probably shouldn't be watching my video without your parents' permission. In fact, let me take the adverb probably out. If you are in the 6th or 7th or 8th grade, you should not be watching my video without your parents' permission. Not that there's anything provocative about my channel, but I am an adult, and You should always get your parents' permission. But now, if you're a parent of a 6th, 7th, or 8th grader and you lived in Humble, Texas, that's where they would go to school. That's all I was trying to get at. I want, I've had 4 middle schoolers myself at one point. They did not, and none of them went there. But somebody asked me, so I'll go ahead, since we still got about another 3.5 miles here on Will Clayton Parkway before we get to the freeway 59. I want to put it out there for everybody on YouTube. I know I've covered a lot of subjects. Obviously, right now, since I'm fairly new to version 13.2.8, I focus most of the videos on the drive itself, as the majority of people would like. You know, talking about the nuances of the drive, anything new I'm seeing with this version. But let me make sure. Oh, Lord. I don't know what's going on with my GoPros. At least I got it back on in time before we got through that stoplight. But I don't know why they'd be over here. It's 53 degrees outside. You can see me bundled up. I'm not exactly sure what would be causing it to stop like that. But it's GoPros. It may be, both of my GoPros are GoPro 12s. And I'm just going to be honest, I've been hesitant, not that I was going to lie. I have been hesitant to switch over from GoPro. I know a lot of people have talked about going to other brands. I think DJI, I've heard is one, and there may be a couple of others. I just really like the GoPros. I'm used to them, and I know how they work, and they take really good video. But yeah, I can almost never get through an FSD drive of any length where one or both, and in this case both of them, at some point in time during the drive don't shut down on me. And maybe that's just a product of the fact that they are GoPros. I mean, at the end of the day, these are $200 cameras. These are not professional cameras. I am running them both on 4K because I know everybody loves the 4K video. And believe me, I got comments on that. When I switched back to 1080 for a few days, going to Kansas and trying to take a little bit of video, then I switched over to 1080 so I could just keep the camera rolling in case something happened. And man, I got ample comments from folks about they could definitely tell the difference. So trying to stick to 4K, but it does make the GoPro run a little hotter when you run it at 4K. So even though we don't have hot weather right now at 53 degrees, and I'm trying to stay warm myself, the GoPros, when they're running at 4K, obviously they heat themselves up. But I've got the battery out of both of them. I've taken the battery bay little door handle off both of them as well, so that the air can flow into the battery cavity. Got them hooked up to USBs, but doesn't matter. When you're running them for a while, and especially you're running them at 4K, yeah, they'll overheat sometimes. It just is what it is. But I don't know, from everything I've heard, it doesn't matter what type of camera I get. If you run at 4K or higher and run them for any length of time, you know, and which I do, as y'all well know. They're going to overheat. So apologies about that. But what I was about to say before that was that if there are any subject matters y'all would be interested in, somebody asked a question today in YouTube. You know, I talk about my kids. I got 4 of them, and asked about what it was like raising my kids. I'm like, completely non-FSD related, but that's good. That's the kind of stuff you know, if you're interested, there's folks that are interested in that, about learning a little bit more about my family life, my children. You know, obviously I want to keep their privacy in mind, but there's a way to talk about your family while maintaining privacy. I can do that. I generally try to stick to topics that are a little more, if not directly related to FSD and autonomous vehicles, indirectly related. So like when we talk about humanoid robotics, or we talk about other things happening at Tesla and EVs, other EVs, other car makers, that's incidentally related. But if there's other things, you know, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a Scorpio. I like pina coladas and long walks on the beach. I like getting lost in the rain. I like running into old friends and sitting in a car with them over a 6-pack. No, I'm just kidding. That's another 70s song. No, but seriously, any things that you're interested in, let me know, and I will happily add it to. Oh, nice merge job there. We sped up a little bit, got in front of that GMC Sierra. Great job. Excellent. All right, we are on the freeway now, so let me concentrate a bit. But yeah, just to put a bow around that, any subject matter, let me know. I'll add it to the list. I've got a run-in list of stuff. I'm going to start others. All right, we're moving our way over to the left. Great job. Not a big gap there either. Excellent. Very confident. Very confident. All right. Probably wants to get over to the left, but we have a truck that just pulled in. Let's see. There is a little bit of a gap after. Well, I don't know if that's a gap or not. Let's see. There's a. Nope, it's not going to look at that as a gap. Let's see how. So we're going 74 and a 60. We are on the hurry mode with 50% automatic set speed offset. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, where's my navigation? All right. Let's go with that one. Get that set, and then we'll get back to the full visual. So now that we were able to get over to the freeway, I don't need to have that offset anymore. Yep. We're going 73 and a 60. Hurry mode, 50% automatic set speed offset. Back on full navigation. Let's see if it tries. Now we've got a gap. Let's see if it tries to get over. No. It is content to stay right here now because, quite frankly, the traffic in the left lane is going about the same speed. So that's interesting. It's not racing over to the left lane just to get in the left lane. It is quite content to stay right here. We still got a little ways to go. Let's just see what it does. 73 and a 65. It is not trying to get into that left lane. Interesting. Very interesting. And we're still a good 1.25 miles away. So it is not trying to ping pong over to the leftmost passing lane. It's staying put right here. And now it's going to put on the right blinker to start moving over with 3/4 mile to go. I will tell you, that was pretty interesting that it did not default. And let me make sure, I'm pretty sure I got it on the hurry mode. Yep, we are on the hurry mode with 50% max speed offset. I keep calling it automatic set speed offset because that's what they called it before. Now they're calling it max speed offset, so I should probably start using that term. But you can see right there, hurry mode, and it did not try to ping pong all the way over to the left. Great job. I don't even know, should I say that's a great job? It was just, the traffic in the left was moving a little bit faster, but not a lot faster. And we had a couple, oh, nice Model 3 right there. Same color as ours. Charcoal gray. I should say stealth gray. And we got the navigation is going to take us through the railroad intersection. So I believe that'll be our first time to go through the railroad intersection on 13.2.8. Not that we've had any issues there, but it is a fairly complex intersection. And it's one where they've got the traffic light structure set up, but they don't have any traffic lights turned on yet. And all the traffic on 494 still has the right of way. Right? Continuing to move through here on the feeder. Getting over in the left lane. This traffic is slowing down over here. Great job. Great job. Excellent. And you're right back over to the right. Well, but that car's about to turn. So technically we should have stayed. Best case scenario, we would have stayed in that middle lane instead of getting right up. But still, excellent job. Excellent job when it got over in the middle lane to get around that slowing traffic. That what is... All right, this is interesting. It normally goes down to that. Now it's taking us down East Memorial Drive here. Very small, narrow country road. It usually tries to take us down Knox Drive, where you're facing the railroad intersection. It generally tries to avoid this one because you got to make an unprotected left turn onto 494, which can be difficult. But maybe it just is so confident now, it's going to take the most efficient route. This is the most efficient, but you got to make an unprotected left here on 494. No oncoming vehicles. So not a lot of complexity there. We take our left turn. Now let's see how we'll get to see. Let's make sure it's disregarding these non-existent traffic lights like it should. No need to come to a complete. There we go. Great job. Great job. So it's treating those lights correctly because they aren't lights yet. Right? Made a nice tight right turn there. So that's interesting. It never takes us down. It's called East Memorial Drive. It does not look like any. I mean, it's as you can see, a very small. It's probably one of the smallest, most narrow country roads around here, and you got to make that unprotected left. So it generally, well, not generally, it always tries to avoid it. That is the first time that FSD has been confident enough. Now, I'll acknowledge it was not met with the amount of complexity it could have been met with a lot of traffic going back and forth on 494. So we didn't get to see that, but it shows it. It could have been there. So it's obviously confident enough to just go ahead and take it versus taking us down Knox Drive where you just got a straight shot across. So that's interesting. Interesting. So we'll have to see that again on another day when there's more traffic on 494. All right, coming up to a four-way stop here by the middle school. Come to a stop, got a right blinker on, take a right turn. Great job. Make our left turn here. Got cars parked to the right, got an oncoming vehicle, so we got a narrow pass here. Let's see how we do. Great job. Did not even try to slow. I mean, it maintained its speed. Awesome. All right, come to the three-way stop in front of the middle school. Take our right turn. Smooth, tight. Got the roundabout traffic circle coming up here. Got a vehicle, got a Jeep Cherokee coming out. Does not look like there are any other vehicles. Oh, take that back. There's one right there. And there's another one coming in hot. That was ill-advised, madam. But we did not overreact to that. Did you see that? We maintained a good constant speed. Granted, we maintained the speed you should have through the traffic circle. But when that Dodge Caravan came darting in there, we didn't overreact to it. That was great. They should not have done that. That was ill-advised. They are very lucky that we are on FSD and that I wasn't some 18-year-old boy not paying attention going 45 miles through there. 45 miles per hour, I should say, going through there. All right. Continuing to progress on through the neighborhood. Got the left turn for my street coming up here in a couple hundred feet. And we'll just see how it does at the end of the trip. Go, make our left turn. Lots of vehicles on the road right here. See how we do. Fairly tight through here. We're good. We're good. Awesome job. There we go. Continuing to make it through. Give the neighbor a wave. There we go. He's like, there's that Tesla dude again, talking to his GoPro. All right. Coming through very cautiously right now. Let's see how we do here. All right, we're pulling up into my home driveway, I think. It's going to reverse out. We'll see what it does. What are we going to do here? All right, is it going to try to reverse in? No, nope. It's going to, my guess is it's going to try to parallel park alongside my house. Or maybe not. He's going to try it again. It does not like that hump. It just does not like that hump at the front of my driveway. So it is going to parallel park in front of my house, but on the other side of the road, in front of my neighbor's house. So I was going to have to repark anyway. Interesting. So it tried to park in my home driveway twice, but that front hump, and there, you could see there was no other vehicles in my home driveway. So it's clearly not, it wasn't the issue of any other vehicles. It is that hump at the front of my driveway. I get it. It's a fairly steep hump. You know, it's a good 6 to 9 inches. Yeah, it's about 6 to 9 inches. But, that's what she said. Sorry. PG. Keep it PG, JC. But, yeah, I guess it's still, it just needs more training to get comfortable with knowing that that's just a normal front of a driveway type of hump and not, an object that it's, you know, trying to avoid. I don't know. So, anywho, yeah. So this was the only place where it didn't park me, is my own home. So, no, but man, what a great day with FSD. You saw it. We had, parked us at Leslie's Pool Supply. Didn't do a great job, but it did park us. And then it did a great job getting across 1960. What was that? Moon Valley Trail? My bad. I can't, I'm going to remember because we're going to continue doing that intersection. But that 1960 intersection did great there. Then parked at El Jalapeño. Then we went to Lowe's. It parked at Lowe's. Then we did the stress test at Lowe's, and it did a yeoman's job. It kicked butt. I tried to put it into a predicament and get it stuck, and it got itself out. And then we went to the family restaurant, and it parked at the family restaurant. Not great, but it parked. And then we came on home, and we got up on the highway. And really the only thing, it did great on the highway. The only thing interesting is we were on the highway for a good 6 or 7 miles. Let's say 7 miles. And it did not try to get into the left lane. And I'm going to tell you, since I've been on version 13 and I'm always on the hurry mode, that may be the first time I have been on any freeway for any amount of time over, say, 2 or 3 miles, and it has not tried to immediately at some point in time get over into the left lane. Now, it'll get back over if somebody else is in the left lane going faster or wanting to go faster. 13.2 has been getting over in the middle. This time it did not try to get over there at all. Not at all. So that was interesting. And then going home, it took a road that FSD, to my recollection, I'm trying to go back through the memory bank, it has never tried to go down that road. It is a small country, literally 1-lane road. Now, that being said, not that I don't think FSD could have handled it. It's just, it's definitely more difficult to get across 494 and across the railroad intersection taking that road than it is Knox Road. It's more efficient. It's the most direct route there, but it's just more because it's a smaller road and you got to take an unprotected left to even get on 494 and then get over the railroad. So it's a little more complex. It's basically the most complex way to get across that railroad intersection. And it did it great. Now, granted, there was no traffic on 494 when we came through, but still, the fact that it even chose it is interesting. So I will get this downloaded and uploaded. I hope y'all have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon, well, evening at this point. And I hope you have a great start to your weeks. I love all of y'all, and I will talk to all of y'all again very soon. Bye now.